It was the first fine day they'd had in months. The sky was a clear, forget-me-not blue, and there was a feeling in the air of summer coming. The 1st of May. We shall secure the school against he who must not be named, while you search for this object. Is that possible? I think so, said Professor McGonagall dryly. We teachers are rather good at magic, you know. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 30, The Sacking of Severus Snape. The 2nd of May, the Battle of Hogwarts. Well, we do look to our prefects to take a lead at times such as these, said George, in a good imitation of Percy's most pompous manner. Now let's get upstairs and fight, or all the good Death Eaters will be taken. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 30, The Sacking of Severus Snape. The 3rd of May. He moved down the steps and out into the darkness. It was nearly 4 in the morning, and the deathly stillness of the grounds felt as though they were holding their breath, waiting to see whether he could do what he must. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 34, The Forest Again. The 4th of May. Grop knelt between 2 trees he had not yet uprooted. They looked up into his startlingly huge face that resembled a grey full moon swimming in the gloom of a clearing. It was as though the features had been hewn onto a great stone ball. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 30, Grop. The 5th of May. It's not easy to catch a unicorn. They're powerful magical creatures. Rubius, Hagrid. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Chapter 15, The Forbidden Forest. The 6th of May. So, with Fang scampering around them, sniffing tree roots and leaves, they entered the forest. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 15, Aragog. The 7th of May. There was suddenly a sound of more galloping from the other side of the clearing. Ronan and Bane came bursting through the trees, their flanks heaving and sweaty. Varens, Bane thundered, "What are you doing? You have a human on your back. Have you no shame? Are you a common mule?" Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Chapter 15, The Forbidden Forest. The 8th of May. There he is, Mum. There he is. Look. It was Ginny Weasley, Ron's younger sister, but she wasn't pointing at Ron. "Harry Potter," she squealed. "Look, Mum, I can see." Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Chapter 17, The Man with Two Faces. The 9th of May. "Come on, Ginny's not bad," said George fairly, sitting down next to Fred. "Actually, I don't know how she got so good, seeing how we never let her play with us. She's been breaking into your broom shed in the garden since the age of 6, and taking each of your brooms out in turn when you weren't looking," said Hermione from behind her tottering pile of ancient rune books. "Oh," said George, looking mildly impressed. Well, that'd explain it. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 26, Seen and Unforeseen. The 10th of May. Harry looked around. There was Ginny running towards him. She had a hard, blazing look in her face as she threw her arms around him, and without thinking, without planning it, without worrying about the fact that 50 people were watching, Harry kissed her. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Chapter 24, Sectum Sempra. The 11th of May. 3 times a week, they went out to the greenhouses behind the castle to study herbology with a dumpy little witch called Professor Sprout, where they learned how to take care of all the strange plants and fungi and found out what they were used for. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Chapter 8, The Potions Master. The 12th of May. Professor Sprout took a large key from her belt and unlocked the door. Harry caught a whiff of damp earth and fertilizer, mingling with the heavy perfume of some giant umbrella-sized flowers dangling from the ceiling. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 6, Gilderoy Lockhart. The 13th of May. There was usually a large amount of earth on her clothes, and her fingernails would have made Aunt Virginia faint. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 6, Gilderoy Lockhart. The 14th of May. Bubotubers, Professor Sprout told them briskly. They need squeezing. You will collect the pus. The what? Said Seamus Finnegan, sounding revolted. Pus, Finnegan, pus, said Professor Sprout, and it's extremely valuable, so don't waste it. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 13, Mad Eye Moody. The 15th of May. Professor Sprout's birthday. Happy birthday. And as she jogged out of sight, they could hear her muttering, Tentacula, Devil Snare, and Snargaluff pots. Yes, I'd like to see the Death Eaters fighting those. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 30. The Sacking of Severus Snape. The 16th of May. Broad strips of dazzling gold sunlight fell across the corridor from the high windows. Sky outside was so brightly blue that it looked as though it had been enameled. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 29, The Dream. The 17th of May. Professor Trelawney bent down and lifted from under her chair a miniature model of the solar system contained within a glass dome. It was a beautiful thing. Each of the moons glimmered in place around the 9 planets and the fiery sun, all of them hanging in thin air beneath the glass. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Chapter 29, The Dream. The 18th of May. Well, now this looks absolutely wonderful, said Slughorn, clapping his hands together an hour and a half later, as he stared down into the sunshine yellow contents of Harry's cauldron. Euphoria, I take it. And what's that I smell? You've added just a sprig of peppermint, haven't you? Unorthodox, but what a stroke of inspiration, Harry. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, chapter 22, After the Burial. The 19th of May, the sun slipped lower in the sky, which was turning indigo, and still the dragon flew, cities and towns gliding out of sight beneath them, its enormous shadow sliding over the earth like a great dark cloud. Every part of Harry ached with the effort of holding on to the dragon's back. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, chapter 27. The final hiding place. The 20th of May. A shallow stone basin lay there, with odd carvings around the edge, runes and symbols that Harry did not recognize. The silvery light was coming from the basin's contents, which were like nothing Harry had ever seen before. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, chapter 30, The Pensieve. The 21st of May. He wanted to touch it to find out what it felt like, but nearly 4 years' experience of the magical world told him that sticking his hand into a bowl of some unknown substance was a very stupid thing to do. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, chapter 30, The Pensieve. 22nd of May. Petunia says there isn't a Hogwarts. It is real, isn't it? It's real for us, said Snape, not for her. But we'll get the letter, you and me. Really, whispered Lily. Definitely, said Snape. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, chapter 33, The Prince's Tale. The 23rd of May. Dumbledore threw his wand out of the inside of his robes and placed the tip into his own silvery hair near his temple. When he took the wand away, hair seemed to be clinging to it, but then Harry saw that it was in fact a glistening strand of the same strange silvery white substance that filled the Pensieve. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, chapter 30, The Pensieve. The 24th of May. Open, said Harry, in a low, faint hiss. The serpents parted as the wall cracked open. The halves slid smoothly out of sight, and Harry, shaking from head to foot, walked inside. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, chapter 16, The Chamber of Secrets. The 25th of May. He was standing at the end of a very long, dimly lit chamber. Towering stone pillars, entwined with more carved serpents, rose to support a ceiling lost in darkness, casting long black shadows through the odd, greenish gloom that filled the place. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, chapter 17, The Heir of Slytherin. The 26th of May. I fashioned myself a new name, a name I knew wizards everywhere would one day fear to speak. when I had become the greatest sorcerer in the world. Tom Riddle. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Chapter 17. The Heir of Slytherin. The 27th of May. He, Ron, and Hermione kept to themselves, working late into the night, trying to remember the ingredients in complicated potions, learn charms and spells off by heart, memorize the dates of magical discoveries and goblin rebellions. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Chapter 15. The Forbidden Forest. The 28th of May. Chess was the only thing Hermione ever lost at, something Harry and Ron thought was very good for her. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Chapter 13. Nicholas Flamel. The 29th of May. Professor McGonagall got to her feet too, and in her case, this was a much more impressive move. She towered over Professor Umbridge. "Potter," she said in ringing tones, "I will assist you to become an Auror if it's the last thing I do. If I have to coach you nightly, I will make sure you achieve the required results." Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Chapter 29. Careers Advice. The 30th of May. Harry went to tip an armful of withered stalks onto the compost heap and found himself face to face with Ernie Macmillan. Ernie took a deep breath and said very formally, "I just want to say, Harry, that I'm sorry I ever suspected you. I know you'd never attack Hermione Granger, and I apologize for all the stuff I said." Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Chapter 15. Aragog. The 31st of May. Even the weather seemed to be celebrating. As June approached, the days became cloudless and sultry, and all anybody felt like doing was strolling into the grounds and flopping down on the grass with several pints of iced pumpkin juice, perhaps playing a casual game of gobstones, or watching the giant squid propel itself dreamily across the surface of the lake. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 16. Professor Trelawney's Prediction.